There's a new contender on the block, a new biggest mod ever for a Fallout game that's currently a work in progress but already has a ton done. What I'm talking about today is Star Wars open worlds. I've talked about this a couple times on the channel, but basically modders are recreating a fully fledged open world Star Wars RPG based in the New Vegas engine. Just recently they've shared some major updates as far as the progress they've made on the mod, and I want to keep you guys up to date because this is likely the biggest mod project we currently have on the way. And it's not like this is all some hypothetical. There are hours of gameplay of this already on the developer's YouTube channel where you can see just how much is complete. So if you aren't familiar with Star Wars open worlds, it is effectively an adaptation of Star Wars into Fallout New Vegas, which of course is really exciting. Fallout New Vegas is considered one of the best RPGs of all time, and having a full-on open world Star Wars RPG featuring a wide variety of different landscapes, characters, enemies, weapons, and of course all of that RPG functionality underneath it all is something many fans have been wanting for a very long time. Just recently we got two major updates around this in the form of two new videos showcasing the mod. The 2021 showcase is just a great overview and a real summation of a lot of the work that's done already. It really shows off just how diverse these environments are. You can see multiple corners of the Star Wars universe being represented in this video, and it's not like it's just a quick walkthrough of them. Later on, you can see things like combat interactions with different types of creatures or NPCs, and it really does show off some of the custom features implemented already. The unique HUD and weapons on display, those unique creatures again, and even further, vehicle combat is a component of this mod. It would be pretty hard to have a good and proper Star Wars game without vehicles in some way, shape, or form, and they're definitely going to be on prominent display in this one, and it is absolutely going to provide a unique experience in a Fallout-based mod project. So although this one is super nicely cut together, it's a really good overview and builds up a lot of hype for the project overall, there's a lot of times where you see something like this, where it's quick cuts from one angle to another, little glimpses at gameplay, and in reality a lot of those areas aren't fully complete, or you're just seeing the best parts. Oftentimes there isn't a longer or an extended version of gameplay to really showcase the mod overall, but this time there actually is, as we also just got the Jungle in the Sky video, which showcases an entire Wookiee base, and here you could really see just how much depth there is already, because this is a full 37-minute gameplay video. These are not world spaces where you turn around and realize that actually the vast majority of it isn't complete. There is a lot done already. You can see wandering all throughout this and a ton of different interactions, whether it be actual dialogue around questing or even trading with some of the vendors here, and even just the variation in environments in this one singular location. You get extreme changes going from those exterior to interior areas, and it's not like all of a sudden things get bad once you go inside. There's still a ton of content there. You can see all of the various hand-placed, static, and non-static objects throughout. But what I found to be really amazing is this walking around shot on the exterior. This is just kind of unlike any other Fallout landscape I feel like we've seen really at any point thus far. The verticality being displayed here and just the overall aesthetic of this landscape in general. It's actually pretty amazing that this was created in the Fallout engine. I would say it's pretty unparalleled right now. Obviously I don't have time to show you everything in this full 37 minutes of gameplay. I will have a link to the full channel down below where there's a ton of other gameplays to check out in addition to this one, but over the past few weeks these are not the only things we've seen. There's a ton of other features on display. Functioning R units that can actually follow you around in the world, a bucket head bomb, which I think is just simply amazing, weapon stuns and unique effects from some of these custom weapon types, so you could actually stun enemies and have unique interactions in combat as a result. One thing I really love is this custom lockpicking interface. It's one of those things that you could so easily just overlook, but it really showcases just the scale and attention to detail with this mod. And then of course things like the new creatures that are coming with this one, as well as perhaps even more importantly, the wide variety of playable races that will be available to you, with each of these races having a certain subset of additional options once you choose a certain race. This mod really has a ton going for it already. There's a ton more on their Discord and YouTube channel. Another popular question I get with this one pretty much whenever I talk about it or feature it is the visuals. Some people love it, some people hate it. So all of this is being filmed by the developer and it's just the ENB they are using. So if you don't actually want the game to look exactly like this, the lighting in particular, you could change ENBs. You should functionally be able to use just about any ENB for Fallout Fallout New Vegas, because at the end of the day, this just is a modded Fallout New Vegas. And although this particular project is still a ways away and definitely on a massive scale, I want to show you something else that was perhaps a bit closer, and that is the Fens Sheriff Department, which is another mod I am extremely excited for. Going from multiple corners of the Star Wars universe to just one corner in Diamond City, many of you may remember the Bleachers mod that is already available for Fallout 4. Basically, what the Bleachers does is expand Diamond City, actually add in some quests, characters, and a full-on storyline to the Bleachers, that back section that was otherwise basically not used at all in Fallout 4. Between the overhaul to the location itself, as well as the quests it added in, quickly became one of the most popular Diamond City based mods available, and as you could probably imagine, we're getting a sequel, that with the Fens Sheriff Department. This is going to be yet another DLC sized experience, and it'll actually kick off right after the Bleachers ended. So if you're looking for something to play right now, you could grab the Bleachers in preparation for the sequel coming out some point down the line. This mod is specifically designed to be somewhat integrated into Fallout 4's story. You should start this as you arrive in Diamond City. It's not going to be kind of an alternate ending per se, but just a side story, more heart and something to do around Diamond City, which it is surely lacking in vanilla Fallout 4. And really at its core, the story here is something is happening with the Sheriff's Department. There are some bad things going on that have to be handled, and we are going to be a part of that. It's specifically designed in a sense where the Sheriff's Department is kind of the core or cornerstone of this. It's not meant to revolve around us solely. They have other things going on, and we're going to be there to witness that and actually participate in it. And it's not like this is some kind of war mod. This is specifically designed to be one with a lot of character depth, a lot of dialogue, and even companions. And it's mentioned how there are 5 hours of companion-specific content alone. The story overall will feature things like family, revenge, paranoia, and long grudges being held in Diamond City. We don't have an exact release date just yet, but this is one that's obviously going to come out a bit before some of these larger scale projects, but still be a DLC-sized experience for Fallout 4, and perhaps even more exciting, actually expanding on and improving some of those existing Fallout 4 locations, which the game, again, definitely could use. But then a couple of other large-scale projects I wanted to highlight that are definitely on the newer side, but still do have considerable progress and work being done. First is Fallout Hawaii. This is going to be a new total conversion mod on its way to Fallout 4, and as you can imagine, it takes place in a post-apocalyptic Hawaii. We're not going to be the sole survivor here. The setting is specifically on the island of Oahu, and it's going to be shortly after the events of the first Battle of Hoover Dam. But one of the interesting opportunities with this is due to its geography, Hawaii being a relatively isolated island. This mod will be largely removed from what is happening in the continental US. So things like the Brotherhood of Steel and the Super Mutants won't appear at all in Fallout Hawaii, giving the opportunity for some fresh faces to make an appearance. The main story of this one is based around a three-way struggle for power between Hawaiian natives, American forces, and even some foreign forces, each fighting at their own piece. And it's also designed and planned to have a lot of representation for actual Hawaiian culture in this one. On the flip side, going back into the continental United States, we also do have Fallout Nuevo, Mexico. This is going to be a New Vegas-based Fallout experience taking place in and around New Mexico, Texas, and Mexico itself. They have a decent amount done already with a couple of trailers showing off some of the world space, armors, as well as some of the unique factions and characters making an appearance in this one. Vault-Tec will also play a big role here, and actually in the trailer you could see what looks to be a giant city-based vault, so a city inside of a vault. And despite this being around where some other Fallout games take place, some of those familiar factions in the area will have a minor role, but they really want some new factions to come forward and be center stage. One of the things to look forward to with this project though is overall they describe a focus on quality over just raw quantity. Last but not least, not one of the newer projects, actually one of the older projects. Many of you are probably already familiar with Fallout Cascadia. They haven't shared all that much over the past couple of months, and that isn't because they're not working on the mod, just that's the way some projects do handle things. And something pretty exciting Fallout Cascadia has just recently done is put up a content showcase with plans for more of these down the road. This gives us a look at some of the locations, some armor, some of the weapons that'll be used, and even a brief description on some of the lore of Fallout Cascadia overall. The content showcase itself is pretty descriptive and interesting, so I'll have a link to that down below for you guys to check out, particularly after this video. With that said, hopefully you found this video informative. Another update on some of the large scale mods, some of the newer projects, and perhaps even some stuff you'll get to play play in not that long. As always, again, I thank you all for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed it, found it informative. Until next time, I hope to see you all later.